and it should just go live. Here we go, 1 second, and we are live right now on your Facebook screen. All right, so I don't know if you're watching this on your computer, if you're watching this on your mobile device, wherever you're watching it. It is. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you can hear me. I'm glad you can see me. I took a lot of steps to test over and over and over again. So here we are. Sometimes I get a little sidetracked with projects and doing different things that I fall off my live stream process. I fall off my live stream schedule, um, and then when it's time to get back on, I need to do a whole lot of testing. And I think you should do a lot of testing anyways, leading up to an event or a live stream event. Because whenever you jump on and you're trying to get something done, the devices get to tripping, the network doesn't want to work, wires don't work. I had problems with my microphone. I had problems with the connection, the Wi-Fi connection. I had to wire things in, and so that way, so the testing takes care of all of those things. All right, so Kelly is here. Hello, Kelly. Glad that you made it by. Kelly was kind enough to um, ask a few questions about Sketchable, and she's interested in learning more on how to use the software. And that's why we set up today's live stream, so that I can give some insight as to how I use Sketchable, what's it for, and why. And so I have a little list that I want to go over, including the hardware, the software, the tools. It's a list. It's the how to make a book, the settings, the textures, tools, palette, layers, the color wheel, and then my drawing process. All right, let's see how long it'll take us to do all this. Hopefully not too long, because I want to get right to the point of these things, and I want to keep your attention focused on these things. All right, so what's up, Kelly? How you doing? And she is saying hello. So anybody else who wants to leave a comment, please do. I will be checking comments, and I will be making sure that if anybody has extra questions, they can go ahead and answer. I will go ahead and answer them. I have an extra surface here on the side with Sketchable already running, and just in case something that I remember is different than the one that I am used to using. Okay, so right now you can see my screen, and it's running OBS. I am going to switch the screens, and so bear with me. You're gonna see on your screen. You're gonna see on your you're gonna see the weirdness that is behind the scenes. Okay, and if I had a second screen, then that's where the weirdness would be happening in the second screen. So let me turn off this layer, and let me turn on. We got the capture. Good, good, good. So now I'm gonna minimize that, and this is my desktop, one of my illustrations. This is finished. This illustration is finished in Adobe Illustrator, and it was started on Adobe Draw and Adobe Sketch, and then Adobe Draw on the iPad. So let's go ahead, and I go into my applications and software, and of course Surface. And for those of you who have a Surface or a Windows 10 device, then you'll know that um, even though it's a drawing tablet, the Surface is a drawing tablet. It runs full Windows. It runs all kinds of things. It runs software, full software for whatever it is that you're doing with your life, including what I'm starting to work on is some 3D stuff. So I have Blender, Maya, and Sculptus. And Sculptus is the one that I've been using lately just to try out some stuff. I have a couple other drawing apps, and that is because I want to try out whatever's out there and get a sense of what are some of the differences in some of these tools, and then just to have another option for experimentation. And then last but not least, right over here on the right hand side, we have all the Adobe stuff. I have the Adobe Character, which I'm trying to get into so I can do a little bit more animation. Adobe Animate, which is all part of Adobe's push to get animators on board. And then, of course, Illustrator, Photoshop, Premiere, InDesign, and Audition, which I'm already using all the time, and um, I even teach. So here we go. Sketchable is starting right up, and I'm going to take you through the whole process of using Sketchable from the very beginning. For those of you who are not familiar and are interested in finding out more about Sketchable and how you can add it to your um, drawing process. All right, so right now it jumped into a page, and let me take it all the way out. So when you first get Sketchable, it'll come with a sketchbook that will then feature a few drawings from illustrators who've worked with Silicon Benders, the makers of Sketchable. And so big ups to Art the Artist. Thank you for joining us. Let me double check who's all on here. Mel Lowry and of course Kelly's still there. Word up. Y'all leave me a comment, say something. If I go too fast, let me know so I can back up a little bit. So once so the app already comes with a sketchbook, but I don't use that sketchbook. I get rid of it. And that's because it comes with a standard size sketchbook that you really may or may not use. And let me see if I have it in this other computer. I think I got rid of it already. Yep. Oh, this is an old sketchbook on this book. Okay. And so what I have done is I have made my own sketchbooks. And the only reason why you want to make your own sketchbooks is because there may be a paper size that you're very familiar with, and you want to make sure all your drawings are in that same size. And so some of the projects that I'm working on is trying to finish a comic book, and so I'm very interested in that, making sure that all my paper is the right size for a comic book. So let's look at the information on this book right here that we're looking at right now. It says DTM. It's the black sketchbook, and I hit the little I book with the I that's on to second one from the left, second icon from the left, and you can see it says name, and I can change the name if I want to. It's a cover, it's a black leather. The default paper, you can choose one of these here, and it's telling us that it's a portrait layout, and it's a 300 dpi A3 portrait. So that is the size of the paper, and that's similar to 11 by 17. It's a slightly different, slightly not exactly 11 by 17, but it's close enough. And because that's close enough, then that's when I want to work in when I'm creating my artwork, because I'm going to be doing a lot of work that I want to finish as a comic book. So it already puts me on that path of having the paper sized the way I want to. Here's the other book. This one that says DTM land. And so the other one was portrait. This is landscape. And that's why I called it land. So there it is. A3 landscape, 300 dpi. Again, the same paper size, except that it's a landscape and orientation. So let me click on DTM, and you can see it's portrait. You see? So it goes up and down. Let me turn that off. And so it goes up and down. And if I want to draw a landscape, I have to turn it. And I don't like doing that, even though I might have done that before. And let me see what kind of drawings I have here. Well, there's a Batman there. I don't like it, so let me delete it. That's how you delete a page. Just click on that little trash can. And let's see what's on the second page. Is another sketch, another drawing that I worked on before. And I have a ton of layers here. I'm going to get into all of this in a minute, but right now I just want you to see that we have different orientations of the pages inside a Sketchable, depending on the kind of artwork that you wish to do. So here's another sketchbook, another sketch that I worked on, and I actually we're creating some t-shirt designs, and I imported some t-shirt templates so that I can then work on these t-shirt designs and kind of use these templates as a guide for putting in some drawings, putting the drawings where they belong. All right, so that's another page, and as you can see, I keep clicking to the right side of this layout, and I'm able to get in to be able to move past each page by clicking on the little arrow, so I can go right or left and so on. There's another tool here, and that is these little three dots up on the top right, where once you click it, it'll show you all the pages in that particular book. And so far, I only have 9 pages. I have was it last year? I drew one drawing every day for the whole year, and each book is able to contain 50 pages. And then so that was at the A3 size. So if that's something that you're interested in finding out how many pages you can go at the A3 size, I know it'll go 50 pages. All right, so then let's go look at the other book. So I click on this icon that was on the right hand side, and I'm able to go to the other book. And of course, be careful with that little trash can symbol right here in the middle, because once you click on it, your book is gone. The other two icons, one is to export and one is to import. And what's really cool about that is that once you finish with your book, or you want to go ahead and not work on that project anymore, you can save it, export it, and save it into an external drive, and take it out of Sketchable. And then later on, if you decide that you want to go back into it and continue or make edits or changes, you can import it right back into Sketchable, and it'll import as the book that it once was. So there's ways to saving your work, and right now I have a few books from last year where I filled up the sketchbook, then I exported and saved it, and it saves as a file that only Sketchable can use and read. So that's what those two icons are. And of course, that is for sharing, but it's not ready. We've been really pushing really hard, and when I say we, I mean the developers for Sketchable, the Harris brothers. Um, Really hard to make sure that there is that the function will come on one of the real soon in an update, because I'm interested in making sure that I have people who want to draw on my tablet and try out Sketchable. I want them to keep the drawing, and so if we're able to export it, that'd be really great. So let's go ahead into DTM landscape, and that's what I call my books, right? DTM. So again, left link left arrow is to move over to the left hand side of the book, and that's page 1. Right arrows to keep going into the right side of the book. This is this Surface is a Surface Pro 5, and I just got it a few weeks ago, so I have not filled it up with my sketchbooks have not filled up yet. But there it is. We click on the top right, and we're able to scroll through the different pages. And let me see this book, because and you can't see it unless you look at that little camera. Let's see how many paint drawings do I have in this book. So this is a Surface Pro 4. Come on. Oh, it did come up, and then I clicked on it too fast. There we go. So this one has a lot of drawings. There we go. Yep. And so they're all in portrait mode. Yeah, so this one here has been around for a while. And let's take a look at a cool drawing here. Let's go with her. And there it is. And that was day number 265. That was last year. All right. So you're able to see how full a sketchbook can get. And this is only has 15 pages, so it's really nothing compared to what you're really gonna do when you start using Sketchable yourself. Okay, so I'm not gonna show you this red drawing, the second page. I'm going to show you the first one just to do a quick review of what we're looking at once we get into the sketchbook. Again, I never used this little picture thing. What is that camera? Oh, what? What's it do? Oh, it's not going to work because I got too much stuff going on right now. All right, so let's close that, because I have the cameras are already working right now. I actually have a webcam on this side, and I'm using the webcam on the Surface. All right, so let's go ahead. Smile now, cry later. This is right after the Dodgers lost the World Series in Game 5. As you can see, what I got my Raiders hat on. Please share this video out there to your groups and friends. Invite them over. Thank you, Mel, for inviting people over, because I want people to try out and experience what's it like to draw digitally with a very easy to use software like Sketchable. So here we are, and I am just touching the screen and pinching and rotating just by moving my fingers around. it responds really fast. It responds really easy. I can use one finger to pan up and down, right and left, and two fingers to pinch, and it will rotate and it will zoom in and zoom out. So that's really cool, really great. I'm going to go into the tools in a little bit. The last thing I want you to see on this page before we move on is the fact that one of the great things about Sketchable is that you're able to work in layers to then build an image, so that if at any point you decide that, oh, that beard, I did not like the color of that beard and I need to change it, not you don't go in the drawing and then as you're trying to clean up the beard you mess up something else. What you do is you either turn off and on the beard and build another beard, or you recolor that beard using another tool here. And that tool is right here. It's called the layer settings, and I'm able to lock the layer's color and the layer content, and then change the color. So let's go ahead, let's use this. I'm going to show you these tools in a little bit also. Let's make it pink, so it's dramatic, right? There we go. Watch this. Look at that. See, now it's only adjusting the color of the beard and anything that's in that layer. So now I'm able to just make one adjustment on a layer and change the color without having to recolor the drawing and mess up the other parts of the drawing that I really want to keep. And how do I go back? Real easy. It's 3 fingers. And so on the screen, I lay down my 3 fingers and I pull them over to the left, and that goes back 1. Of course, there is a back button here on the bottom left, and that's a cool function to have. But instead of looking for the button, I just swipe across the screen, and that's it. I'm there. All right, so let's take a look at what we got going on. I think I'm losing one of these cameras. I might have lost that camera. Let me double check. Yep, that camera got lost. So let's see if I can adjust this without breaking something. There it goes. That was the rear. Let's go with the front. All right, let's try it again. I'm back. All right, and I think that's because when I turned on that camera function in Sketchable, it might have messed up one of these cameras. So here we go. Hopefully later on I'll edit this out. Maybe I'll leave it in, but definitely after today I'm going to upload this video to YouTube. All right, so let's go ahead, jump to this page, back into the book, and move over. I'm not going to talk about this drawing right now because this is for a holiday party at Microsoft. And let's go into this page where I already started to scribble a few things. So let's go ahead and delete this layer, turn on a new layer. I'll go back into the layers in a minute, and we'll talk about that real soon. All right, cool. So there we go. This is what it looks like when you're drawing. This is your canvas. This is your workspace, and let's go over all the different things that you're looking at and why. So once you're inside the book that you created, thanks for offering to upload it. Yes, that's right. You're welcome, Kelly. And it'll still live here on Facebook anyway, so you still see this video anytime you want to come back to the page. So once you create the book in the size that you want, I did not show you that. Let me see. Let's say you want to create a book. So here it is. On the left hand side of the icons is the plus, and now I can create a new journal. They call it, and so I can call it whatever I want to call it. Yep, let's call it yep. I can change the style of the cover, and then adjust the size that I want to use. So again, we got 8.5 by 11. I don't know what all these other, well, these are pixels. If you have a pixel dimension in mind, even if it's gonna be for like storyboarding. Good answer. Then there's some the dimensions here you can pick. If you're gonna want to do some poster sizes, some 8.5 by 11, and what this is that you have different DPI, including the 50 dots per inch or pixels per inch, and 300. So 300 is high resolution. Then you have the B4, 5, 6, A3, A4, A5, and all that. And you're gonna have to look that up and see and figure out what does they mean, and if you're using them, you'll know, because I don't use any of that stuff. And the only thing I looked up was what is the size for a comic book, and once I found it, that's the one. It's the A3, and that's the one I use all the time. So let's take a look at all these other ones, including an Instagram size, and then a 1920 by 1080. So then that is going to be my storyboard sketchbook. So let's call this stories. Yeah, so there it is. Distressed leather stories. The size is 1920 by 1080, and I'm gonna click on create. Bam, just like that. You see that? I just made a new book. Got a new book. There it is. It is landscape, and it is fit for video. So now I can do my drawings in here, and each page is a storyboard. So I can go back out to the sketchbook, the journal, and I can click on that, and now I can scroll through my storyboards. So this will be what you call this one is not page one. This is title and so on, right? So let's go ahead and get started and to seeing what we have inside of here. So once you have the book, you've created the size of the book that you want, that you're going to use all the time. Now it's time to check our settings. We have more settings here. So on the top left, there is 3 lines, and let me go ahead and there's 3 lines, and that's going to get us to the settings. Then there's diagonal arrows, and then of course the book. And when you click on the book, it takes you back out to this book view. And then when you click the book on the bottom right next to the paintbrush, it takes you out to where all the books are. So the 2 arrows, what you do is it takes out all the Windows UI so that you're just inside the book. And that's the view that we're going to use here today. Then those 3 lines is the settings. So let me click on that. Come on, settings. Oh, I need my pen. There it is. And so now I can see the settings and other things, including export files. So let me go into settings. And the way I set up my Sketchable app is to paint with the stylus only. And I'm going to click on it and show you that you can also use touch. So stylus and touch. So that if you want to draw with your hand, come on. What's going on here? Oh, I need a layer. We got a layer. Oh, it doesn't want to. Maybe because it's tripping now. Come on. Come on. It's not happy. Stylus. Huh. You're not doing right by me right now. Let me try my other books. Because I just started that book. And it might be that it's a lot of resources being pulled right now for the live stream. And oh, let me see, hold up. Yeah, let me turn off this Bluetooth on this one. I have a couple of surfaces here. There we go. Turn you off. Goodbye. Okay, now I need my pen to work. I have others. Let's see. Here we go. Let's try this one. Hey, this one's very light because it doesn't have a battery. And this one is charged up. Here we go. I see it moving, but it's not registering a mark. So let me go back out. Let me go here. All right. And let me restart my Sketchable. That's how it goes with live stuff. There it goes. Come on, Sketchable. Work with me, buddy. All right. Now, how about now? Let's try it now. There it is. Let's go back out to the other book. There it is. There you go. And there it goes. Okay, cool. So we're back up. See, just a quick little restart. No big deal. Let's go to the settings, stylus, stylus and touch, and now I can draw with my finger, or I can draw with the stylus. So this is what you call palm rejection, where if you turn on the settings and just have it set for the stylus, then you're going to then the Sketchable is not going to react to your hand touch, which is perfect for then laying your hand on the screen and then just drawing. So you want to check your settings, all right? Always check those settings. There they are. There's other settings to look at if you want to. And that is, if you scroll down, I've left all of these alone. I don't mess with those. But there you go, single finger pans. That's good. Single finger pans, keep that. The UI size, I can make it bigger. As you can see, it's growing. Or I can make it smaller, depending on the size of your screen. The Windows background, make it light. I'll make it dark. I'm into the dark side. Like Star Wars. I can change the color overlay, Windows, and when you select a particular tool, the UI will show you a particular color, and you can select that color now. So there's my dark theme, and I don't know what's up with that. The light, oh, there it goes. Okay, let's go with dark. Come on, bring it back. Dark theme. Okay. And then, and that's that. I can reset to defaults my color wheels, all the two presets, but I've already done so many changes and adjustments that I'm not going to do that right now. Let's go ahead, hit these two arrows so that I get rid of the Windows UI. Let's go back into the settings. So here, when you finish a drawing or you want to export a drawing or bring in some other parts of a drawing, then what you do is you're able to go to File, and of course save. You can always just back up and save. Even though you don't have to do it, I do it all the time because it's there. But also because you don't have to do it because Sketchable has an automatic saving function. So it's constantly saving. And you'll notice that when there's a color wheel, there's a little wheel that turns when you're in the middle of drawing. And it's a little annoying, but it saves your work, and that's important. It's important to save your work. All right, then we have a copy. So you can copy this layer and paste it somewhere else. You can export this page. You can export the paper texture. You can export your presets, or you can import another layer, and then of course import your presets if you like. So this settings menu has a lot of options that you're going to end up using little by little as you build your drawing collection and you want to export. What's cool about the export function is that it exports as a Photoshop file. There it is, PSD. You see? So when you're working on an illustration of some kind and you're ready to export it out, you export it as a Photoshop file, and then you can open Photoshop and keep working on it. Add in your text, add in all the little things that Photoshop offers, a lot of the things that Photoshop offers because it's a big program, and then keep working. So I like that Sketchable has made it very easy for you to move on to other Adobe and keep your layers. And that's gonna talk. I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that in a minute about the layers. All right, so here we go. Let's get back into the UI. So let's get back into our workspace, and I'm gonna talk about the UI. So let's go into figuring out what's next here. So we got our settings, and there's more things here on the left hand side that we're gonna review. So number one, right here, let me change my color, and see my color palette is right here on the bottom right side, and it's real easy just to click on any color you want, and I'm gonna go into the colors a little deeper in a minute. But so the first thing that you see right here on the left is transform. So that's the transform tool. So I can click on it, and automatically I get the transform tool to show up. I click on my little chain link so that when I transform, it keeps its proportions correct. I can flip horizontal and vertical, or even rotate. You see that? Very cool, right? And once I'm happy and I'm good to go, I click the check mark, and now it's done. So that is the transform tool. Let me size this down, turn this up. There we go. Alright, so that is the transform tool. One thing that's going to happen as I'm drawing and working here, you'll notice that as I get close to the UI, it goes away. That's cool and awesome, because then you're able to draw and stay focused on what you're drawing. UI stands for user interface. So that UI, and a long time ago, it used to be called graphical. It's a graphical user interface, and they call that GUI. Now it's just user interface, and people who design user interface are UX designers, because the X stands for experience, and UI design stands for user interface design. So if I say UI, then I'm just kind of I mean the things that we're looking at in the Sketchable. All right, so transform, there it is, right? So that's the transform tool. Next tool, let me change the color, is rotate. So if you want to rotate, zoom in, use your hand, that's what that's there for. But because there's so many, you can just pinch and zoom and move about with one finger, I don't ever use that. Maybe it has other functions, but look. There we go. Why? I don't know. I don't need that. All right, the eyeball. So I never used this one. I think that's, there you go. And I thought that was the mirror. So a lot of artists who draw digital like to flip the image so that they can see any imperfections in their artwork. And because your eye gets used to seeing what you're drawing, and you don't see the little things that could be better or adjusted, and so that's why it has. So that's why you flip the image so that you can see anything that needs to get adjusted and fixed. The eye, I guess it turns off all the color just so you can see your values. And then I don't know what these sunglasses are, but I never really used them. Let's see if I can hover over it and it'll tell me. I'll have to ask Sketchable people and see what's up with that. The next tool is very easy. Of course, is the paint bucket. No big deal. Let's change the color. Word up, word up. I like that. And then if you want to, once you want to leave the paint bucket, you can just pick any tool down here in the bottom, and the paint bucket is deselected. Then we have our magic eraser, and so you can make adjustments and changes as to how you want your eraser to work, and it's like magic selection tool. What is it in Photoshop? I forgot it. And so that it serves as the same function. Then from there, let's turn you off. Let's get a tool. So it's deselected. And then we have our tools here are rulers, including a graph. So graph paper, that's cool. I never really paid attention to this, and I never used it. And but now that I see it, I think it could be a cool idea. I like that, because then I can make my measure my edges for my storyboard, because this is going to be the storyboard here, and I can write notes right here, and I can title it right there, right, and then and do my drawing here, and it'll be a person there, and so then the eye goes like that, and so there's open space here, and so now we're talking about composition and layouts and stuff. Okay, cool. Here we have our rulers and shapes. So if I have, I just turned on the rectangle, and I can move the edges to size it down. Let me change pen tool, the color, so then I can go here, and then bam, I make a line here. Let's see, where's the other one? There it is. And sure, let's make a line there and a line there, but I didn't like that line, so let's move it down, let's move it in, and you can make adjustments to your shape so that you can get the size that you want. And that's way off, because what I want is this right here. So let me move that right here and change color, and now There you go. That's my square. There's other shapes here, including you can turn off the eyeball, so you can turn off the shape. There's the rectangle. Where'd you go, rectangle? Oh, come on. Oh, I need to turn the eyeball on. There it is. Rectangle, square, all those things, right? And I guess you can lock your shape in there. And let me get that one so that as when you draw and you're not you won't have this problem. Oh no, I meant to do the outline of the rectangle, but I accidentally grabbed the corner. And then if you want to make some adjustments to your shapes, there you go. That's more settings for that. Once you're happy and you're done, you hit the X and close that out. I'm gonna leave the grid. I like the grid. All right, now let's see if the grid stays when, yep, it does stay when you turn off the layer. All right, so we're gonna stay in this layer because we're moving through the tools. All right, so let's keep on going. This right here is the blend mode layers settings for that particular layer you may have selected. And the part that I like the most is this one right here, this lock, because if you remember earlier, I changed this color of the beard and I was able to do that through using that tool. So let me change colors. Let's go with this green. Let's turn that up. Let's go here and look at that. Everything turns green. One of the things that you're going to appreciate when you try out Sketchable is that you're able to move swiftly through the tools because they're in your face and they're easy to get to, and there's very few options. Some people are used to Photoshop. There's a lot of other software out there, including Concepts and Autodesk Sketchbook, but they have very heavy UI, very heavy user interface, very heavy menus, very heavy tools. And when I say heavy, is that there's too many options. So when you're trying to create and draw, you get caught up in trying to figure out all these options and all these drawing tools. And so what I like about Sketchable is that things are very easy to get to, easy to understand. And once you try it out and test it, you're able to get right into drawing without a whole lot of figuring it out what's going on here. All right, so that's why I was laughing. Here we go. So now the last thing on the left hand side is our layers. You see me turn it off and on a few times. And what's cool about layers is that that's how we build our drawings. So let me see if I can go out to another drawing. Let's go here. Yeah, there's not that one. Yeah, let's go with this one. And so the way I built this drawing was through layers. So let me show you some of the layers. Turn this off. This eyeball on the layers means that you're turning off the layer. It does not delete it, it's just turned off. The layer that you're working on, you select the layer to work on it and it'll be highlighted so you can see that this is the layer I'm working on. The little settings to the right give you certain options, including the opacity of that layer and the blend mode. Once you start having several layers, you can change the blend mode so that then the layers start to combine and give you different effects. And I can show you that on the beards, on the LA beard illustration. So in this case, what I did was, and this layer is all one layer right now, but it did not start off that way. It started off as a quick sketch, and then I started building on the drawing using different layers, and I erased some things and I redrew some things. But basically, I drew the hair on one layer, I drew the face on a different layer, the headphones were in a different layer, and then you can see there's some lines back here where these were the beginning lines. Let me change tool. These were the beginning lines that started off this drawing, these lines right here. And so once I first did my shapes to get the pose, and then I started working on the anatomy, and that's when I started with the second set of lines. And then as I moved on through the sketch, I got to the point where I started doing some of the details. And so at the end of this level of the sketch, I just combined all the layers into one. But the reason why I use different layers, and you'll see that in a minute, is that sometimes you want to erase and fix the hip. But if the hip has a whole lot of other things already mixed in, then you're erasing those other things at the same time. But if I redraw the hip on a whole different layer, and let's change colors, and then I say, well, the way I want the hip, I want it to go like this. And this is, of course, a super thick pencil. Let's do it again. Then I am able to erase what's behind it without messing up the line that I just drew, because I want to keep this line. There you go. And there goes the, see, it's pressure sensitivity, so I can go thick to thin to thick, and dark to light. There it goes. And so now I can come in and work on this layer without disturbing the new layer with the new lines that I want to keep. All right, so now I'm gonna turn that off and come back to this layer. Once I get to this point on my sketch, then I'm able to turn down this layer, the opacity to the layer. And once I turn it down, you can still see it, but I've turned down the opacity so that I can then start sketching over it. And so this layer right now is a combination of several layers, and what I started combining them, but these last few layers I left them separate. So there's a layer for the lines of the tracksuit, and I did that because once I have this layer on, and if I draw everything together, if I'm trying to keep adjusting these lines of the tracksuit, then I'm gonna mess with the other lines that I wanted to keep. So I drew the tracksuit lines in a whole separate layer, so that if I want to adjust it and I don't like how that came out, I go ahead and use my eraser and I say, yeah, I don't want those. I need to fix that, right? So there you go. And it won't mess around with the other lines. I also did the hair in a different layer so that I can adjust the size of the head. Sometimes your proportions are off a little bit, so I did the hair in a whole different layer, so then maybe I can also tilt it and switch it around. This layer has the lips, the shading on the lips, and that right leg, including some of the details in the warm-up socks. And then last layer that I added here is the line work behind and some of the lines inside the eyeball. And once I get to a particular point in the drawing, I turn off my sketch layer, and this now I'm focused on all the inking. What I have not done in this drawing is start to color, and that's because I just haven't sat down and thought it through. But also I'm not happy with some of the details in this drawing, so it's gonna have to wait another day. But all in all, this is how you use the layers and why it's important to start drawing in layers, and why Sketchable has the layers here on the left hand side for you to click on. So let me go into this sketchbook so that I can make some annotations for you. So here we go. Let's get a pencil. Let's go ahead with that. Let's change my color, and now I can tell you that is layers. Here we go. Layers. Oh, it's too thick. And turn that up. There we go. Layers. Layer settings. And forget my writing. You see, I know how to draw already, so it's really, writing to me is not the thing. And then of course we have our shapes. Magic eraser. We have our paint bucket, and so on. Right, there we go. That's on the left hand side. There it is. Oh, smaller. There you go. Woof. And then this other three, right? What was that? Transform, and so on. Transformers, not transformers. Okay, so let's move on to the bottom row. On the left hand side, we have our undo and our redo. But as I told you already, you can use the 3-finger swipe to the left, and that's your undo. 3-finger swipe to the right, and that's a redo. So those are kind of cool, but I like the use of the fingers. If Mega Studio had that option, or any other software that's out there, oh my god. I think Adobe Draw and Adobe Sketch has 2-finger swipe. Alright, the next thing we want to pay attention to, and let's go ahead and change layers, because that layer is looking dirty, is our texture. Oops, come on. These are our textures. And the way they work is, when we first set up this sketchbook, I did not put a texture on it as a default. And that's okay, because I can come here and right now, as you can see, there's a texture now. But let me click on a different square, and now I get a different texture. Let's click on the other square, I get another different texture, and this one gives me a different texture. You see, so I can switch around and get and add a texture to the paper, the digital paper, so that when I draw with my pencil, I get a whole different effect. But I can go ahead and double click that square, and now I can find other textures that I can select. So there's that texture that is on now, and I don't want to change it because I like my textures, but you can play around and test them. You can also invert the textures and add and change the settings so that it gives you a whole different look and feel for the same texture. Alright, that's them. Those guys over here on the left. Then we come into the superstars. So this is at the point. And of course, everything is good when it comes to Sketchable. But right here, right now, is where Sketchable shines. Because it has these traditional tools in a digital software, digital drawing app. But they have a lot of options, but they're right there in your face, easy to find. You're looking right at them, and you know what you're looking at. So first things first, of course, the eraser. Let me use a different tool though, so that I can write that out. So we have an eraser, and that is way too thick. Let's bring it down, because I'm eraser. We have a paintbrush, and let me see what it's called. Let me double check. Round brush, soft detail brush. It has different names, but I was looking for a pop-up. But in any case, oof, that is way too thick. There it goes, paintbrush. And you use them differently. They all have their own thing. This is the airbrush. Of course, the pencil. Then we have a marker, ink pen, and then what do you call that kind of pen? I forgot the name. It's not an ink pen. A nib. That's right. The nib. And my settings are way too thick over there. We go turn it down. How about that? Nib. And then chalk. And then of course our blender. Woo! Look at that. That was crazy. Turn the blender down, man. There we go. And each of these have, of course, their own. I just wrote with the same tool, but they, of course, they all have their own texture, their own style, and they all have one thing in common: it's the settings. So let me go like that. Let me turn that, and there it goes. There goes the eraser. So that each setting, when you go high, the opacity is darker, and when you go right or left, it changes the size of the tool. So let's try this one. Make it dark. There it is. Make it lighter, and now you can take your time and build on that drawing. You having trouble seeing the bottom menu bar? Oh yeah, huh? Let's see. Why is that? Why is that? Let's go like this. Bam. How about now? It's bringing in the Windows UI, but now it works. Thank you, Kelly, for bringing that up. So let's go back to where we were, and there it is. So again, I'm using the brush, and I can darken the line little by little as I build on my drawing. See, so then that way you don't really have harsh lines, right? I do that with the pencil. That's what I do with my pencil, and I use this one. And there we go. Turn down the opacity, get another color, bam. So now I can build on my drawing. I say, okay, cool, cool, that's what I want. Okay, this guy's gonna have a hat, bam, a beard. All right, there you go. All right, yeah. And actually it goes like this and like that. And let's get my hat that goes to the side. And see, so you build on the drawing like that. All right. Nice. And now that you like it, you're okay with it, then you come in with another brush. And this one you darken and still thin, but you make it darker so that then you can come in and do your outline. And bam, there we go. Yeah. All right. Oh yeah. And let's give it a beard. That's what my beard is looking like, real big right now. I don't know any barbers who do beards, and I don't feel like dealing with that because then that means I have to keep my beard trimmed up if I go for a style, and I don't want to do all that. Ooh, wait a minute, that didn't work. Maybe it doesn't work on this one. Let's get back. Is it the tool I had on? That's not it. It was this one. There we go. That's one thing that happens a lot though, is I get sidetracked and forget which tool I was using. And so sometimes I make notes to myself and for whatever tool I'm using. So if I'm drawing with this, then I say, okay, that's the paintbrush, and I'm at 7. So paintbrush, and then 7. So that way, when I come back to this tool or to this drawing, I can finish up the drawing and get back to my settings. That's where the exporting of your presets come into play. And yes, Kelly, you can do a coloring book in here if you wanted to. That's a great idea. Or in that you create the drawings. So you can create the drawings, export them into Photoshop, flatten your layers, and work on doing the layouts, because I like to add text, and there's no text editing here in Sketchable. And bam, there you have it. You got your sketchbook, your coloring book. Bam, there it is. I had a client, she used to say, bam, there you have it. And it was a funny thing. So now as I'm working on this drawing, I can erase certain things, and because I worked on everything in this layer here, when I'm erasing the black, it's actually going to erase the blue also, and that's okay. There you go. Turn down the size and go like that. I'm just playing around. This is not gonna be a real drawing, though. I have been playing around with big beard drawings because my beard is getting kind of big, and I just want to draw it. All right, well there you go. So as you can see, I just played around with some of these tools, these drawing tools down here, and the marker is really cool. I really like the marker, and that and because now once you have a drawing, or you're building on a drawing, you can start using all these different art styles to give you a different effect and give you a different texture. So let me try this. There he goes. This is the eraser, right? Bam. So now I can erase and I get a whole different texture. Turn that down. go like this, and bam. Look at that. Oof. Oh man, I love drawing. And I love drawing in Sketchable. There it goes. Oh, that's way too big. It's huge. There we go. There it is. Look at that. You got different textures. I actually drew a gorilla in Sketchable, exported it to Photoshop, and then animated it. All the drawing was done in Sketchable. The animation was done in Photoshop. So this is the part that I enjoy with Sketchable, is how basic the tools are so that you can get right to drawing. There's a lot of little things that you can click on to adjust, make adjustments. So there's different textures and different styles, and you can click on through these to get, well, different things. And let's see, what is that? That gives you that dirty paper, huh? How about that? That's nice. And I can go small, right? That's cool. I like it, man. All right, so we talked about the tools, and again, we got the eraser, the paintbrush, the airbrush, the pencil, the marker, the ink pen, the nib pen, the chalk, and then the blender. What more do you want? Watercolor? Sure, but it's a good start, right? Oil painting? Sure. Acrylics? Okay, well, yeah. It's $20. This software, this app is $20 forever. All right, so here we go. Now let's get on to the right side. So now down here, and let me switch my pencil. Bam, right here is, there we go. Right here, from here to here. Oh, from here to here. Let's try a different angle here. From this point to this point, we have our color palette. And you can change any of these colors anytime you want. There's some basic colors that come already preset, but once you double click any of these colors, you get the color wheel to pop up. If you don't get the color wheel to pop up, then that's okay. Click on the color wheel. There it is. See that? That's the little color wheel tool. And now you can change it to whatever you want. Oh, but you don't know what color you're really looking for, because you have a color over here and you don't know what color that was, and you've already lost it because you changed colors. No problem. This is where, that's the color wheel. This is the color picker right down here. Bam. I use a color picker, hover over my old color, click on it, bam. I get the same color all over again. I don't know. I'm excited. Anybody excited? Who's all watching this? Who's all here? All right? Huh? I got a few people watching. That's good. This is some awesome setup that Sketchable has put together for you to draw on the surface. Now, let me tell you something. When the Surface first came out 5-6 years ago, I think it was like six years ago. So, I was drawing at a Microsoft store all the time, and the Surface was coming. Everybody was excited about the Surface, and the best machines that Microsoft had at that time were made by Samsung, because the Samsung was making the pens that came with the device, whereas the other companies were just making devices and then throwing a pen into the mix later. And so when the Surface came out, it was a big deal because, of course, Microsoft was working with Wacom, and then they had the pen. But when the Surface came out, there were very few apps that were working with the Surface and helping, taking advantage of the screen and creating good software to help you draw. And so when Sketchable came around, their focus was to build an app that allow you to draw traditionally on the Surface using all the power that the Surface has to offer. And so, but they also kept it simple so that it's easy to use and grab onto. And when the Surface first came out and you looked at Photoshop, the UI was really tiny and small. And so if you have a current Surface and you have a CS version of Photoshop, then it's really tough to see all the details of the menu because it's really small, because of the resolution of the Surface is really high, and so on and so forth. A bunch of math. And so now what Sketchable has done is added all these tools all in one place for you to take advantage of the surface and draw anytime you want, however you want. I think we ran over all the tools. Yep. Settings, textures, tools, palette, and layers. The color wheel is the last thing I'm going to talk about before I start to draw. I'm going to do a quick drawing. But the color wheel is amazing because, see, on the bottom right corner, right down here, let me change my color right down there, right down here at the corner. It's a little chevron, and it says there you go, show or hide palettes. So bam, I hide it, right? But as soon as I hide it, you'll notice that this color wheel has changed shape. So let me go ahead and it's changed shape because as soon as you hide the UI or the color palettes and so on, you don't have access to some of these things that are here on the bottom and the left. And so right now the color wheel right now has from here to here it has options, right? But when you hide the palettes, bam, you get more stuff. So now you have access to your pencil tool, to your pencil adjustments. You have access to your layers. You can transform all the things that you're used to looking at when you click on this corner. Shows up here in the color palette, and that's awesome. All right, I hope you guys are excited as I am. It's still there. It's still here while you get through the tech issues. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's see. Everything looks good. We're still online. All right, so the last thing is the color wheel. It's awesome. It has a whole lot of information here. And if you're one of those people who has a what is that thing called? It's the surface dial. Then the surface dial allows you to make adjustments and changes to your settings while you're drawing. And you use that. You can use that on the screen, or you can use that off to the side, and it works like a mouse but with settings. And all right, so now let's go ahead and draw something. So because this is how I get down. All right, so let's this is my what do you call it, storyboard. And let me just go like right here, turn that off, get a new layer open, you see, and let me go ahead and delete those because I don't want them. I want to get it out of there. And so now you don't see any of my tools. All I see is this color wheel right here. I like sketching out in blue. And let me go ahead and get a shape. Let's see, because the shapes were here a second ago. Maybe they're not. No shapes. So let's go ahead and get a shape. Bam, bam, bam. Let me turn off. No, I do need it. Let me keep that. I was going to turn off the grid, but no, I want it. I want it. So let me go right here. Do that. So I'm changing the shape around. And I'm gonna take it from here to here. Yep, that's good. That's what I want. From here to here. All right, there it is. It's kind of crooked, but I need it just as a guide. And so I'm going to grab the marker. The marker, I want it to be red. Come on now. So let's go ahead and select red. And now you're locking up on me, so I have to use blue. It's a whole lot of processing power going on right now. I got cameras running. It's connected to the surface. I am streaming from the surface, and I'm recording the screen. Woo! It's a lot. So if there are hiccups, that's because I am really taxing this machine really hard. All right, so there we go. And somebody turned on something over there. I need to pay attention. Hey. So let's get my layers. Turn down this layer color. There it is, the layer opacity. Create my new layer, and now this is what I'm going to use to draw. And as a matter of fact, I can just change my colors over here. Let me go ahead and get my pencil because I want to use the pencil. And I can turn that down. Go ahead and get the red. That's the combination of pencils that I like. let's see. And so now let's go ahead and do a quick sketch. And so the scene is this is titled, right? This is the title, so it really needs to speak about what we're looking at. And there you go. I don't know if you saw that little circle. That was sketchbook saving. All right, so let's go. I have let me turn that down. Let me turn that down. And now I do have a different layer. Yep, that's a different layer. And so now let's go here. Let's go like that. Let's put in the line right there, and this is how I sketch, right? So let me go ahead and do the fingers. These are fingers, and so when you have something like that, you need to hold up. Let's see. So you're gonna have a thumb like this. There we go. Bam, bam. Oh, now we go like that. Boom, boom. So here goes the shoulder. And so right now, when I start drawing, I always work with shapes first, right? And then of course, composition is important. And when you're sketching and drawing, you can then take a look at whether or not it works or not, right? But don't get caught up into the details just yet. Just draw. So there we go. There it is. Bam, bam, bam. All right. Okay, bam. So does it work? He's looking back at the ear, and he needs a big neck. This is denominator. Bam, bam. There it is. Okay, cool. I like it. You see, so I'm just kind of sketching loosely. That's one of my things on. Hey, what's up? How you doing, brother? Good to see you, Charles Mays. Thank you for joining us. Let me see. I have a list. Where to go? Start your sketches very loose and not get caught up in the details. That's it. Just go ahead, and that's going to be the fingers. If stuff is out of proportion, it's okay. One thing that everybody's asking Sketchable to do is selection, cropping, and what do you call that? Resizing. And so I've been able to manage without it. There we go. Bam, bam, bam. That's gonna be the shoulder. And I have a technique for that. So here we go. Here goes the arm. And yeah, yeah. That's why I get rid of the UI, because you saw that it started to come in. Yeah, and that's because the UI for when I get rid of the Windows UI so that it doesn't interfere with my drawing. All right, let's see. So then once you think of the shapes, think of the anatomy that you're where things go and proportions. Then I start jumping into that. And so as you can see, like when I did this bat, I did it pretty light, but now I can come in and thicken it out. And so it goes the bat right here. There it goes. There it is. Nice, nice, nice. How long have we been going? I don't even know. Let's see. Oh, we started at 7, of course. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock. All right, we good. We good. A little bit longer, and then we're done. Thank you for y'all for joining us. And if you leave early, it's okay. Just come on back anytime you want to review some of the things that we talked about today. All right. I know it's Monday Night Football and all. All right, so let's go. Bam, there it is. The eyebrow. And I keep getting this question all the time. It's like, how do I get smooth lines? Practice. All right, that's it. It's a lot of practice. So now I can throw in a little bit of detail. Just so I can see whether or not this works. There it is. Cool, cool, cool. All right. And is my hand getting in the way? No, it's good. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the thumbs up, y'all. I appreciate it. I have while we're sitting here, we have a free meetup on the 8th. That's this week. I think that's see Thursday, because today is the 5th. I don't forget now. 6, 7, 8. So that's Wednesday. I don't know. I forgot. What is today? Today is the 5th, and today is a Monday. So the 8th is a Thursday. Yeah. It's with the freelance forum, and the good people at freelance forum asked me to come and yell at some artists and illustrators so they can go ahead and get their lives together. If you want to come through and listen to how I handle my art career in this digital world of cheap freelancing, then you need to come on through. There we go. There we go. It's called um how to thrive in a Fiverr world. How to thrive as a freelancer in a Fiverr world. I don't like how I did the mouth, so let me undo with the 3 finger swipe to the left. And so this is where the composition comes into play. Bam. There we go. So now I'm just adding some shapes and shadows, and there it is. Bam. There it is. Not happy. Now what you talking about, Dan? All right, it's a gorilla. But he's got the monkey mouth right now. Huh? It didn't come out okay. Here we go. There we go. And I don't like that line either, so let's go ahead and get rid of it. And I'm just kind of testing things out, right? All right, cool. Good. Move the ear back a little bit. Even though it was a perfect ear, that ear was perfect. Bam, there it is. Move the head out. There we go. Because you're gonna try to make it out. Brother's been telling me about it. Yep. Oh, cool, man. Come on through. Yes. Yes, your brother's a good guy. Let's see. Here we go. Yes, come on out. It's free. I think it's from 6 to something. Check out artistking.org/events. Let me fix that head. I don't like it. Let's fix the forehead. Bam. Let's go like that. There it is. And let's go in. Let's see how that's gonna go. Yeah. So this is where still a whole lot of line work happens, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna keep the first head, keep it small, and then here goes the deltoids. And let me try that again. There we go. Smack right there. And then the shoulder comes out. And I'm just getting my shape in. Let me get rid of that grid so we can see the drawing better. There it is. Yeah. There goes the arm, shoulder, the elbow sticking out a little bit. Okay. You got the wrist over here. And let's go like that. And of course we need the chest. Chest is a little bit sticking out right there. Nice. Very good. I like it. I'm not happy about how that hand is right there because his hands are big, so we have to go like this, we need to have kind of some of the fingers going over, and if I grab something, maybe it can be a little bit realistic. Let's grab this. So now we have something like that going on. So it's not so, well, it could be, no, not so much like that, but more like that. So I need to add another knuckle. Like that. There we go. Bam. There it goes. There we go. And then maybe this one has half. It's showing half a little bit, and then this one's like that. Okay, so now, so there's a fold, and now there's that. And so now I can go in and grab my eraser. Let's get this one. Turn me up. Turn that down. And now I can clean up some of these lines. And then this right here, because this is the thumb. There goes the thumb. And okay, there it is. You see that? There we go. This is the second pass to this sketch. And let's see where we are with my list. Thank you all for the reactions and likes. Think of the shades of anatomy, use layers. So now we're going to move on to the next layer, right? So here we go. Turn down this layer, start a new layer, change my color. So it's not allowing me to change my my in my palette, change the color here because the processing power is going off crazy. It's going crazy right now. So let's go ahead and change it here and make a dark blue. And now I can try the marker. Let's try the marker. Let's see. There he goes. Yeah, yes, that's good. It's too thick. Turn it down some. All right. Bam. And then got the eyebrows. And because I have a low opacity, when I go over it again, I get it gets darker. So now I can start adding some details, right? Because he's a gorilla, but he's like hardcore gorilla. I'm gonna get rid of the UI so that it doesn't bother me. I'm actually gonna get rid of the other UI, and let's go ahead and save. File, save. I'm just save just because I'm used to it. There it is. Turn that off. There we go. As a matter of fact, let's get rid of you. Bam. Now I can focus on drawing. Now I can focus on working on the sketch up to a drawing, but it's still a sketch. And if I'm sorry, Kelly, if you're getting issues on your stream, I was wondering what you meant by that because I'm looking at my streams and it looks like it was working. Let me try it again. Let me look over here on this phone. I'm gonna try the Wi-Fi. A couple of these devices are connected. Let me see. There it is. I'm up to date. I'm up to date. Check your internet. There it goes. All right, Kelly. Tune in once it's over, and find it on YouTube. Anybody who leaves, check it out in YouTube. All right. So let's see. We're good. We're good. We're good. Okay. Cool. Cool. Let's keep it rolling. And I do have other pens besides the Surface pen, but I like the Surface pen. I like it more than any of the other ones, unfortunately. And and I say unfortunately because I like types of devices and things, but when I tried others, it's not the same. I like the fact that I can change the tips. I like the fact that the thickness, the feel, but I do not like that it's very slick, and so that's why I put this rubber grip on here. There we go. So now here we go. Let's go like there. Bam. See, now I can fix the eyeball. All right. There you go. Make that better. Go like this. Put that there. Oh yeah. I can shade it in. Oh yeah. There it goes. It's coming. It's coming. So let's go ahead and bring that out a little bit more. And bring that out. It's too dark. All right, let's go here. There he goes. Mm. Oh yeah. There we go. Nice. And I'm going too crazy with the detail right now. I actually should not be doing all of that, but that's how it goes. And then that's gonna be hairy. That's that biceps too straight. Let's go like this. And there we go. Bam. And then let's go ahead with the hair. I come back in and make sure I do hair there. Bam, there goes the chest. And that hand and wrist is way too big. And this is when we change layers, because what I want to do is kind of follow what I started to do here. But I can, if I have it in a different layer, then I can resize. You see, so I got that, bam, bam. Now, get my transform. Take it down further. You see that? Not only that, let's go ahead and tilt a little bit. Bam, there we go. See? So now I fixed that. And I'll get another layer. And now I'll fix the... No, I didn't like that. Let's do it again. Come on. And then I can do this. But because I have it in its own layer, I can change. There we go. See that? I can erase this. Doesn't have to be perfect, just enough so that I know, yeah, that line needs to go. There it is. Good, good. And see, and then I can turn off my layer I was working from to see, okay, that looks like it's getting there. Got ways to go, but it's getting there. So let me go back to that one. Let's get my marker. And now I can, and that is the right one. One thing that's going to happen is that you're going to be working on the drawing for a while, then realize, oh, this is not the right layer for that. Yeah, that's just part of how it goes. That's just the life. But the fact that you can start new layers anytime you want is amazing. This is what an artist that I follow online said. His name is Orlando Arellano, and if you ever use Illustrator before, you will have seen his artwork show up in the startup page screen. Is that he said layers do not cost anything, so that means use all you want. Cool, there it is. There goes the hand. So now I need to fix this mouth. I don't like that down one. Let's do the up. Let's go like that. Oh yeah. And then yes. When you're drawing, you need to have overlapping lines. That's one of the keys to good to fooling the eye into thinking of depth is perception. It perceives depth through the way you stack your lines. Alright, so now I can go here, and then let's go there. Bam, bam, bam. That's the ear. Alright. And let's go here. And I kind of just messed around and jumped over to another part of the drawing without changing my layer, and that's okay. Alright, because I'm getting kind of excited here on the way this is coming out. There it is. I like doing sound effects when I'm drawing. It's okay. Bam. Let's do the eyeball on this side. Yeah. You see that? That's good. So now let me turn off the red one, and look, there it comes. He's coming. His name is Denominator. Yeah. I've been trying to think of a intro to my videos using my artwork, and I think I just got it. I ain't gonna tell you about it. I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. And I don't like that hand, but let's see. Yeah, it's way too off like that. It needs to be further up. So let's fix that hand again a little bit more. Yep. Yeah. You have hands. You've been using your hands all your life. For those of us who have hands. And you can always look at your hand. And if you can't look at your hand, go online and find some hands. And when you find a hand, you use that hand as a reference. The point is that you need to use references when drawing, and it's okay to use references. It's okay to trace when you're starting out. I don't care what anybody says. Is the fact is that you need to be able to learn from the trial, the trying it out. And as time goes on, you get used to it, and you don't need a reference. And I did not need a reference for this drawing. I do keep looking at my hand so that I can get the fingers the right way, and the angle's a little off, but it does help to have a reference, even to look at to get the idea down. If you need to trace, go ahead and trace, and learn to understand the shape, the figure, the let's see, that should have been more like this. Learn to understand what you're looking at, so that way, as time goes on, you have a memory of how certain things look. Okay, cool. There we go. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do some quick inking, because we are 1 hour and a half into this. So if you guys have a question, please ask it. I'm going to look at the stream, and so far it looks like we're still up. All right, let's see. How are we gonna do this? We're gonna go ahead and get our ink pen. Make it black. Oh, there you go. Look, it's working now. It's just how it wants. It does what it wants when it wants. And this was, what was that? Oh, that's the bat. So now I start a new layer. That's been turned off. And since this is all, so this blue, what I'm gonna do with the blue, I'm gonna bring it in down, merge down, bam. And what I didn't tell you is that there's a trash can to delete, the merge down. This is to duplicate the layer. Look, bam. So now it looks darker. And then the other one is to make a new layer. So this is a new layer that we're on. There we go. I will turn that down a little bit, and let's make it, I think this is good. Let's see what happens. And I didn't do the eyebrow on the other side. That's okay, because I was really more interested in, and I'm still not happy, but you know what? I do like that. Let's go like this. Yeah, sorry I got quiet because I just thought of some stuff, right? And I think it's still too thick. Mm-hmm. Well, it's okay, because I actually don't want to go too deep into the details. That's one of my things that I keep falling off. I say, no, I'm going to make a simple drawing. And then next thing I know, this thing got layers up on layers and layers. And I was like, oh man, that is not what I wanted. I mean, it's a cool drawing, but that's not how I wanted it to look. All right, let's go like that. There it is. Bam. All right, now we're talking. All right, yeah. One thing I have asked Sketchable to do is to add the recording feature, where you don't want to run more software at the same time, because then that just starts to tax your device. I want to record like the brush strokes, so that way the only thing you're left with is a video that features the brush strokes. There you go. Look at that. Damn, I like that line. There we go. Oh, watch out. Wait a minute. What's going on here? I don't know. I'm excited. Y'all don't have to be excited if you don't want to. All right, bam. And you know, no, I was gonna say that I may do a frame lapse of this video, but um, you're gonna lose all that talking about all the different tools. There you go. Take that off. And there it comes. And slowly, slowly, I'm gonna build on this drawing. You have the Surface Pro and that app. It works flawless. Yes, Robert. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for your comment. I have a Surface Pro 4 right here. As a matter of fact, this Surface Pro is let me see, what do we have here? PC. Oh, I got my big thumb drive on this one. Properties, 8 gigs of RAM, and it's a i7. It's an i7, so still a good processor, and it runs Sketchable like nothing. You know, boom, 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 boom. It responds fast, and that's the power of Sketchable, is that you're able to use the app and to draw and create without the heaviness of what Photoshop carries with it. Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much, Robert, for your compliment, man. I appreciate it. Uh, we'll work for compliments. um, um, I will check out your work and see what you're working on, because I like to check out other artists and their work, and keep that inspiration and creativity flowing. There we go. You know what? I might do the eyeball on a whole different layer. So there it is. It's coming. Let me I can lightly. Nope, that one came out okay. There it is. There we go. Bam. Little details. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go right there. It's too much. You're getting lost, because then I'm gonna start doing more things here, and I do not want to do that. There you go. That's too much. Let's go. Okay, cool, 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 cool. There we go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so if I lean into the drawing, the line gets darker and thicker. And let's see. This chin is too small. That's what it is. And I may have to draw the rest of this chin in a different layer. So that way, oof, come on, pen, you're tripping. That way I can play with the hair. Let me see how that face looks. Let me turn off the other layer. Come on. Oof, there he goes. Let's see. Oh, that looks cool. I like it. Let me make sure I am saving, because we are talking about computers. And if you never had a computer that failed, uh, you don't know the pain. That's what you have. You need to get the app. Charles, yes, get the app. Get the free app, all right, Charles? Go ahead and get the free app. And this is for anybody who's still watching right now. If you have a Surface or a Windows 10 device you can draw with, download the app. It's free to download and play with it. There's going to be some things that don't work, and that's okay. Just go ahead and play with it, and post a drawing right here on this stream. Go in on this stream and just post that drawing that you might have did with the free version, all right? And if I like your drawing, I will give you Sketchable for free. How about that? Let's go like that. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, boy. All right, and then let's go like this. So, anybody, and I have more than one, so there's not one winner, is anybody who posts something, download and then pay the fee for the full version, because it's only $20, right, Robert? It's $20, but because I'm DTM, I have some free ones. But yeah, it's $20. It's really cool. There we go. Something's going on with my pen. I don't like how it's drawing right there. But I know. Let's redo that line. Here it is. Let's go like that. Change the angle. Don't like the way the line's coming out. Change the angle. Yeah, that's that. I don't like that one. You will like it. That's right, Robert. Robert is correct, Charles. You will like it. All right. If not, ask your brother. Mike. All right, here we go. There it is. I can clean that up right there. Cool. See, I added a beard, which kind of crowds up this corner right here of the shoulder. Oh, thanks, Robert. Yeah, what kind of stuff do you draw? If you don't draw what I draw, well, what do you draw? Oh, I don't like the way that came out right there. Needs to be short. There we go. It doesn't look good. Take it off. Don't force it. It was fine the way it was before. Let's go with that. Let's go ahead and make it dark. Bam, there it is. Let's go ahead and make it dark right there. Okay, and I need to figure out this shoulder because now the head is tucked too far into the shoulder, you see? So how about, let me see, what's this? That's the head. Oh, and that's the beard. So now I'm okay with the beard. So now the beard is going to become part of the same layer, merge down, but I'm going to have to clean up that shoulder. So I'm going to take out the line for the shoulder, and because and I need the beard. Your beard needs to be there, and we got maybe 20 more minutes on this drawing before I have to get offline. All right, so here we go. Let me finish the face, and before I move on to the shoulder, I'm fixing out this beard deal here. So let's go like this. All right, and let's go like that. Bam. All right, and then let's go here. All right. I like it when I'm in the groove. And I think that it helped that I was talking about Sketchable and this, everything that Sketchable has within the app that got me going. I would love for you to critique my work. Mr. Ernest has been helping me improve with inking. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, I'll check it out. Can't say I have looked, but I am down with that. I love checking out artwork and giving some insight because I have mentors. I have my own artist mentors, and they get on me about my work and what I draw and give me tips and insight, and that's how we all improve. There we go. There we go. Bam. Got that. Let's go like this. And let's turn this down. So now I can go here. There we go. There it is. Yeah, I wanted to have more of a bam. Let's that came out wrong. Here we go. There it is. Done. So we got the ear. And now, yeah, let me finish the shape of the head because once I I get through this part, I'm gonna move the head around. There we go. And I just need to go ahead and have the shape locked in. Come on, Surface. I've been bragging on you all this time. Microsoft. Hello, Microsoft. Yeah, go ahead and let me hold another. Oh, you know what? I think I changed. The marker is wrong. Let me see. Is it this one? This is the one. Yep, that's the one I should have been using this whole time. Man, I got sidetracked. Where did it go wrong? I was doing it fine there, and then when I came here, I did it wrong. Yep, that's the. Let me see. Yep, that was it. Let me try that. Yep, there we go. So that's okay because I can still draw another layer. Yeah, because this one gives me my. I was wondering what happened to my thin little wispy wisps, and that's because I'm supposed to have been using this tool, and that is the fine ballpoint. My ink pen. Oh Lord, there we go. Let's write it in. Ink pen. Yep, that's it. Okay, cool. That's all right. There's still plenty of this drawing to be done. I can. Nobody will know. Only you guys will know. All right, there we go. Yeah, when I started to draw these lines, like what happened to my thick and thin? And I had messed around and changed tools without paying attention. There it is. Let's take this one down a little bit more. All right. All right, there we go. And eyebrow. Okay, so let's do the eyebrow. And I like this tool because I can get these fat and lines with the thin ends. Whew, yeah. All right, this looks good. This is more detailed than a storyboard will ever have. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get these out and turn up the opacity. Let's get that. Done. Good night. Keep up the great art for us to enjoy. Dan, it was fun watching. Thank you, Robert. Enjoy your evening. And let me know what the score is later if you're going to watch some football. It's time for some football. All right, where are we? There we go. There it is. Bam. So now I have the head. Let me draw the eye. No, let me do the eye. Well, let's do the shape. There. Let's do the shape on this one. There it is. Now I can move the head. I need to move the head. The reason I need to move the head is because the beard. The beard needs to have somewhere to go. Let's fix this. And let's take that down. There we go. Yep. There it is. Let's go like that. Very good. There it is. So let's turn this down a little bit more. No, I never turned it down at all. There we go. Let's keep working on this head. And I think I'm going to leave you all with this drawing of the head and then and see if y'all come back and follow me, Delta Tango Mike. And I will add this to my Instagram. And you'll see the finished product. So now I see something that needs fixing here. See, because you can't see the ear very well when you have a beard like that. Is this my right pen? I keep changing to the wrong one. There it is. Keep grabbing. I thought I grabbed the marker, but I didn't. There we go. See, so this one starts to turn. It needs to fix a few things. Now that you're going to show the beard, now you really have to work on this right. There we go. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't like the way this started to fold here. Let's take it out. Uh-huh. I guess this will not be the final version of the ink because there's so much things that I'm working on that I may have to come back and fix later. So that's okay. And you know, this is my style. There's a lot of other artists who will paint in this app. There he goes. Yeah, boy, look at that. What do y'all think so far, huh? I think I got a future as an artist. And this lip should kind of be like this. Yeah, that's what it needs to do. I actually wanted it to. Yeah. Okay, there it goes. Perfect. See, now he's smirking and stuff. This needs to get fixed. There we go. What you're looking at. And then so then this that was me bumping the the ear looks too small. Mm-hmm. And then I can add some hair here. I probably need to do another layer for that because if I'm not happy. I don't like that. Starts to come well here, but then somehow I lose it right there on the top. All right, let's go ahead, new layer, and turn my layer back on because I need to add the shoulder. And so that means I think I still need to move the head a little bit forward. But let's combine those two. And now move the head. There we go. Now I can go ahead and draw the shoulder. And so some of that is going to get lost. And that bicep has to be longer. That did not come out well. That didn't come out well either. That's why you flip it. I'm going with big hard lines because I should have done. I should have stay simple when I was drawing the head, but you know. There you go. There we go. And now I can add this in together. Mm-hmm. Kind of looks like has more of a human Neanderthal look than a gorilla. That's all right. But it should have been further bent. There we go. Not standing up straight, but more of a bent up look. Let's go right here. There we go. Done. Yeah. I'm gonna have to work on the hand a little bit more, so I can get what I want. But there he is, looking sideways. So like, what are you talking about? Hey, come on back. And let me fix that beard. I can go ahead and erase this edge. All right. Done, son. And where's this? Oh, that's something else right there. All right, and let's get my pen. And let's get him to say something. Let's merge down, and now I can move him over to the side. Actually, I can size him down a little bit. Oops. Nope. Do it again. There it is. Make sure you lock your aspect ratio. Bam. Hit OK. Get a new layer. Oh, come on. New layer. You always want new layers so you can make adjustments how you feel like. There we go. Let's do with that. So let's get rid of this one and go here. All right, let's go with that right there. And then layer's gonna say I like to draw. And let's go ahead and do the eyeball. See, watch this. Won't go nowhere. Not finished. And then I can turn on my eraser, burn down the opacity a little bit. There we go. There it is. All right, and just since I showed you that little bit, just download the Sketchable. Cool, Mark Charles, try it. All right, let's see. Post something. I already told you. If you post something, I'll let me see you work with it. I'll give you the key. All right, here we go. All right, so right now what I'm doing is just adding some shadow, right? But make that smaller. And that is the arm. There we go. Add some shadows, alright? Not gonna be super careful and it's not gonna be perfect. But you're about to see what's gonna happen. You'll see. There you go. right. I like those last two. There we go. Perfect. And then I get my opacity, turn that down some. Go right there with it. Get my eraser, turn me up, get the second one. There we go, like that. There we go. Let's go right there. Is that big enough? No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, that is good. There you go. Turn down, down. There you go. Turn that down. See, that's how you. And actually, this one is gonna have these. Nope, that was too thick. Turn it down. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this is cool. I like that. Alright, come on, fix it. Come on. There we go. And there it goes with this one. There it goes on this one. Take it right there. It's a combination of the different effects put together, and that gives your drawing a whole nother look. Let's turn that down some. Got to get the ear, the eraser. Let's see. Bam. Take that up there. You see that? Need that right there. So let's go like this. All right, cool. And then I can go like this. I like how that came out actually, and I know what I want. And then this is gonna be my last move here, y'all. I've been at this for a couple hours. Give me that. Change my color to white. Give me back my brush. There it is. Yeah. Get rid of you. It's always easier to go from thin to light. I mean, from thin to thick. Yeah, if I can get it. I got that first one. No, I can't get these other ones. There he goes. Oh, I missed the chest. Yeah. Let's go get Eraser, come on. There we go. The eraser, turn me up. Here we go. Get that out the way. Get this out the way. There it is. That's good. I'm done with that. I will do one more layer. Sorry, because I can never be done. Let's go with that. Let's do it here like this. Oh man, this is crazy. Like I just won't quit, huh? Alright, let's get the eraser. Let's go right there. Nope, too big. Should give me this one so I can have more of a fade. There you go. And of course the teeth. Now I'm just kind of taking off some of the extra. It's too much. And let's go ahead and get the original eraser. Turn me up, get that out. There we go. Yeah. Cool. Alright. Let's get your values in there. Let's draw. Last thing. For real. Sign your work. Done. Alright y'all, this is DTM. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching me draw. You can see the top of my head most of the time. You can see the camera up here, and you can see my hand movements.